Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Welcome to Lancer. In today's episode, Sappho, from General Massive Systems, by Mockshake. Sappho was an archaic Greek poet, which is a period in Greek history that's between ancient Greek and classic Greek, that came from the island of Lesbos. In ancient times, Sappho was well known for her lyric poetry, which is poetry sung while playing a lyre, and was considered to be one of the greatest lyric poets too. While little was known about her life, and even most of her work simply didn't survive the test of time, what remains of her work are mostly love poetry, specifically, love between women. She's basically a gay icon. Hell, even the word lesbian came from where she lived. There's even an entire goddamn debate revolved around Sappho's sexuality just from this alone. Personally speaking, I believe she's 200% gay, at the minimum. And named after the historical figure, Sappho was made to protect and take care of her pilot, combining both into one perfect pairing that can surpass anything in their way with the power of synchronized love. Looking at her stats, Sappho is a standard-sized mech with 1 armor, along with high health and good repair cap. Her evasion is good, and she's decently fast too. While her save target is just normal, her sensor range and E-defense are good, but her tech attack bonus suffers a little. However, she still has 6 base systems points, which is okay, along with a good heat cap. Onto her traits, she has 2 of them. First, TLC, or tender loving care. During a rest or full repair, Sappho may reduce her repair cap by 2 to temporarily boost herself with one of the following effects until the next rest or full repair. Second, Pledge to You. Any NHP systems with AI tag within Sappho can be designated as partners during a full repair. Partners will consider the pilot as a significant being even when unshackled, and both could connect their mind together. Essentially, Sappho is going to be a very tactically flexible mech with her traits, and she's going to be full of fun when you put some NHP in. As for her weapon mounts, she has 2, 1 flex and 1 heavy. Onto her core bonus, Sappho can activate Anniversary Final.exe for No Greater Love. Upon activation as a protocol, for the rest of the scene, you and all of your partnered AI from Pledge to You trait get to have a turn each with Sappho, and you can use them continuously. Before you scream that's fucking overpowered, despite getting multiple turns in a round, Sappho doesn't get more actions. She still only has the standard move, and 1 full action or 2 quick action to share for all of the turns. Now you are probably thinking, what am I supposed to do with all these empty turns? Easy. First of all these extra turns still counts as your turn for the purpose of, well, everything. Conditions like impaired, just spend a turn to wait it out. All those protocols that can be taken once per turn, you have multiple turns now, do the math. Mine, they arm at the end of your turn, now you can just spend a turn, walk behind someone, and then, however, there's also some drawback to this core power. Any system of yours that has a duration will lose their effect faster, and you do not want to be set on fire because burn damage deals damage for every turn you spend being on fire. There's probably more benefits and drawbacks to this, but I will let you figure the rest of these big brain moves out. Also, you can totally save any extra turns or actions to start after the end of anyone's turn, as long as it's before the start of the next round, or you can just not spend those extra turns. And besides all that, Sappho also gained a new reaction called, Lay My Life Down. Basically, for once per round, if you have a turn remaining from No Greater Love, at the end of your first turn, you can set an enemy's action as a trigger for this reaction, like say, when an enemy fires their weapons. Upon being triggered, you can start your second turn immediately and any actions you take on that turn resolve before the enemy's action. Basically, Lay My Life Down allows you to go turbo fast and possibly finish the enemy off before they could do what they originally wanted to do. In a nutshell, No Greater Love is probably one of the most big-brained core power I have ever seen. Its flexibility and viability, all depended how good you are at abusing Lancer turn mechanic. And Lay My Life Down is basically an even better prepare action with none of the drawback. There's a lot of potential with this reaction. Both of these can elevate Sappho to a whole new level, you just need to figure out how to use her to her best. As for the rest of the license, you get Sword of Diacles and Duster Breakaway Protocol in the first section. Sword of Diacles. Basically tactical chakram. Good threat, good variable damage, and good throwing range. However, This stat is actually not quite true, as the weapon only has these threat and throwing range between your turns. On your turn, the weapon has threat 1 and cannot be thrown, no matter what, even with talent. Between your turn, the weapon gets the above stat, including any bonus. And during Overwatch, you can use the weapon's throwing range as threat. Also, the weapon doesn't automatically return to you upon being thrown, so you want to get the hunter talent to get the most use out of it, assuming you didn't get it already. Either way, this is a very good weapon to deal with resistances, and even on your turn, it still deals quite a bit of damage for something so small. Duster Breakaway Protocol.
When you hold me, I feel like the safest person in the whole damn galaxy.
When you brace, you can expend a limited charge from the system to flash everyone around you. Every character in Burst 1 must pass a system save, or they could only see nearby space until the end of their next turn. The system also creates a Burst 2 area of smoke which blocks line of sight in and out and gives everyone inside soft cover. This smoke lasts until the end of your next turn. An excellent getaway tool, or maybe you just want to punch everyone around you without getting shot. In the second section, aside from Sappho frame itself, you get CASHMERE cabin harness and Bright Star BATTLEAXE. CASHMERE cabin harness, a baby carriage for every responsible mech out there that wants to keep their pilot safe. Basically, you and your mech are now connected by a 3 spaces long cable that connects your system together. When you are out of the mech with the cable still attached, your mech can use your line of sight to perform tech action, but the same goes to the enemy that saw you too. Your mech could also use your pilot weapon, firing from your space, using pilot action, assuming you want to, because this isn't very useful. With a quick action or as a reaction to taking damage, you can mount your mech by being reeled back to your cockpit without provoking any reactions. Do remember that the cable is only 3 spaces long. If you walk or get pulled further than that, the cable disconnects. And when you are out of your mech, you aren't controlling it. So unless you have an HP on board, this system is not gonna be very useful. GMS Bright Star BATTLEAXE Precision Variable Carbine. Perfect for all your needs. This weapon actually has 2 different profiles, but you will need a heavy mount either way. First mode, BATTLEAXE, has extreme range, high damage, while being accurate, and has overkill tag. However, it requires reload after each shot and has ordnance tag too, so it's quite tactically limited. Second mode, Bright Star, has extreme range too, along with overkill tag but low damage and inaccurate. However, this mode has a gimmick. If the bonus damage dice triggers overkill, you get to have another bonus damage dice. And if the new bonus damage dice triggers overkill as well, you get another, and this continues indefinitely. However, this weapon can only get bonus damage dice from talent only. With Bright Star BATTLEAXE, you are going to hit someone real hard either way, or accidentally cook yourself. In the final section, you get Indirect Pacifism Drive and Hypatia Class NHP. Indirect Pacifism Drive, helping others can aid yourself. If you spend a turn not conducting any hostile action or attack against any enemies, in the next turn, you can stabilize as a protocol by spending a limited charge. A very useful tool for any support frame. And finally, Hypatia Class NHP.
Hypatia, similarly to other NHPs like Osiris, could rewrite what we consider to be reality, but also that its objective perception of reality is foundationally based on some quantifiable, unifying paramaterial existence of subjectivity in people, the soul.
Your mech gains AI tag and a reaction called Dawn Quotient. For once per round, when an ally takes damage, heat, or burn from an enemy or object deployed by enemy, like turret, you can spend a limited charge to make a skirmish action against said hostile character, or the origin of the trigger, like the enemy that deployed the turret that shot your friend. However, you don't do damage. Instead, if the attack hit, you can reduce the amount of incoming damage or heat by the amount of your damage roll. Said incoming damage counts before your ally's armor and resistance, and if the damage affects multiple allies, the reduction averages out. And if your damage roll managed to completely neutralize the incoming damage, it is treated as never happened. For example, your ally could be impaired by an attack. If you neutralize the damage completely, they won't even feel the effect. No rule can supersede this cancellation if it happens. Also, Hypatia Class NHP sees any characters they know as significant beings, even when unshackled, but they might override your control either way depending on their post-unshackled personality. All in all, Hypatia can get your ally out of a pickle by breaking causality in half. However, There's one thing you need to know. The weapons you fired in this reaction cannot be fired again until the end of your next turn. So, take a pick. As a conclusion, Sappho, like the general theme with general massive systems, aren't entirely good at one thing, which means you can pilot her well in every imaginable situation. Her license consists of systems and weapons that can both help you or your allies, either defensively or offensively. Either way, no matter what you modify Sappho into, she will be very helpful to you, but you should treat her just as nicely too. Hey there, so, the Season 2 of Welcome to Lancer has come to its end, or so it seems. There's such a massive amount of submissions to the series that I believe just 5 videos are not going to be enough. So, I have decided to have a few picks of my own for future episodes. It might take a little while though, as I'm planning on whether or not to create a new series for more Lancer content and then some. Anyway, have a good day, and I will see you all next time.